Welcome to Music Bytes, a show that takes a peek inside the universal language of music. I'm your host, Sly. This show will explore the classics, the currents, and everything in between. We'll dive deep into the stories behind the songs, the artists who create them, and the impact music has on our lives. And we won't just be talking about music. We'll also invite music enthusiasts, industry experts, and even the artists themselves to join us for conversations about their work and love for music. So sit back, relax, and let the music take you on a journey. From classics to currents, this is Music Bytes, where every note tells a story. And so today I have a very, very special guest. I mean, like literally, we talk about music all the time. Literally. Yeah. But okay, I got a bio. So.
Oh my God.
All right. So my special guest for today's show is a fixture in the Richmond theater industry. TeDarryl Perry is an actor, singer, director, and professor of speech communications based in Richmond, Virginia. Working with acclaimed companies like the Richmond Triangle Players, Firehouse Theater, and Cadence Theater, just to name a few, they are a dynamic force within the world of arts and beyond their work on the stage. Recently seen as a featured performer in Richmond Triangle Players' 31-year musical retrospective, The Best of Times. Aside from their work on stage, TeDarryl also served as the director and dramaturg for the recent VCU Theater hit production of Rent. And wait, there's more. As a trained musician with a 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but a 4-octave vocal range, TeDarryl released the album Hangover in 2016, now available on all digital platforms. Hey, TeDarryl.
Hey, that was a bio.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what you be doing. Listen.
I feel like I'm on Club Shay Shay.
Okay.
Club Slide.
Okay. You are a lover of the arts.
Yes.
And like I said, like I am so excited to do this with you. It's an honor.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank
you know, we chat. So.
Yes, we be chatting down. Okay, y'all. We be chatting down. And I'm a girl who loves fun facts. And I feel like you love fun facts as much as me.
I love a fun fact.
And
nerds is what
literal
we should be
nerds.
called.
And like I love it because no shade to none of my friends, none of them, or folks I talk to, but they be giving me fun facts for things I already know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever I'm with you, I learn something new. And thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm a teacher through and through.
Listen,
I was one of those kids that was like, you need to stop teaching the teacher.
Yeah.
And it never stopped.
I love it. And so today's topic is our girl Britney Spears. We're going to talk about her debut album. So like, let's get into it. With the spirit of 90s pop in the air today, you know, got my little Britney shirt on.
Yes, you're very 90s pop.
Yeah, I love a theme. It's only right that we revisit an album that defined an era. Released on January 12th, 1999, Britney Spears' debut album, Baby One More Time, introduced the world to a pop phenomenon. The title track became an instant classic, topping charts in 22 countries and cementing Britney as a global icon. The girls aren't global icons with their first album anymore.
The girls weren't global icons then with their first albums.
Yeah.
Like nothing was the same after Baby One More Time.
Okay.
Nothing was the same.
Okay. The album's mix of catchy hooks, heartfelt ballads like Sometimes, and danceable hits like You Drive Me Crazy made it a commercial smash, selling over 25 million copies worldwide. It's a cornerstone of pop music history and a reminder of when Britney changed the game forever.
Yes.
Okay. So what was your your introduction to Britney Spears? Like, when did you first see her and you were like, okay, like, who is this little white girl?
I love this story. I love this story because my introduction to Britney Spears actually was, of course, I'm a millennial, born 1990. So I was prime real estate for like the teen pop. Before Britney, I was a Spice Girls fanatic.
Yes.
I was like, when I first started enjoying music, I was like a Spice Girl through and through. Like,
yeah.
So I remember it was 98 And I had just moved into like my big boy room and
Mm-hmm.
had like this big bed and all this stuff. And I was a chunky kid. I was an eater. I used to sneak snacks and stuff like that. So one night I had this horrible stomach ache. I had this horrible stomach ache. And I remember it being like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. And you know, MTV used to play videos around the clock.
They used to play
Like
music videos,
music
y'all.
videos used to be on our television, people, you know? So I remember waking up to go to use the bathroom and the bell rung in the Baby One More Time video. And I watched that video from start to finish with my mouth open, was like, what is this?
Yeah.
The song, the girl, she seemed young, and I was like, you know, back then everybody was a teen sensation.
Yeah.
Like, I think millennials really set the tone for like youth
Yeah.
stars and like
That's
that
why we
whole
still
time.
look so young today.
Yes.
The new children look old.
No,
No offense to them.
No, seriously.
yeah.
It was I think millennials, we had the best time to be kids and the
Yeah.
worst time to be adults.
Yep.
But seeing that video that night, the next day, I remember telling my mom, we went to Walmart and I was like, I have to find the single. That's what cassettes. We also had these things called cassettes that, you know, you flipped in and then you put it on the other side. And I bought the
And
single.
you could preview the album at the store. You remember that?
At the store before
Like, you didn't have to
bought
buy
it.
it. Like,
So we got the cassette single. I remember she had the brown bang and the song Autumn Goodbye was like the B-side. It was this
Yeah.
random dance song. But ever since then, I was obsessed with this girl. Like, she really changed it for me.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
no, similarly, that music video, like that outfit, and it's so funny because I just watched an interview with Brooke Shields. She was on the Kelly Clarkson show,
Mhm.
and she had on an outfit. And she was like, "Yeah, this is my Baby One More Time outfit." That's iconic. Like
Yeah.
Brooke Shields is.
And
In the year
so
of our Lord
many.
2025, Brooke Shields is like, I wore this outfit. It's a
Still.
Britney outfit.
Still, 26 years later. And even like, we think about the Catholic schoolgirl outfit, but
Yeah.
even like, you know, the pink halter top and the gym outfit and the pigtails, like, it's so much iconic stuff from that video.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. The somersaults.
Yeah. And then I have to also say, like, her voice, I was like, how is this white girl singing like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the pop girls back then were like giving us like
had to have talent.
Yeah, they had to have talent. And you could tell she grew up singing in a church.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that like artist development was happening and people just didn't like, oh, hey, I want to sing. I also think, ooh, hot take. Somebody tweeted recently, do they think we will have superstars? Because I think we're like, now we're the generation where we're kind of running out of like those elusive superstars that are untouchable and like, you know, the top of their game and all of this stuff. And I don't think so because we have a lot of gentle parenting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw that tweet.
Our superstars back then, our Michaels, our Beyonce's,
like,
our Britneys.
Yeah, they were like
didn't have
the
nice
world.
things.
Yeah, they was like
they had to go to rehearsal.
Yeah.
They had something to do.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell that with Britney Spears from the jump and like getting to know her, like you said, like we are both nerds. So I would want to deep dive. I would go to Food Line into the magazine section and read Teen Beat.
Literally
and,
front to back while my mom was grocery shopping.
Yes. And find out the zodiac sign and where they're from and their favorite color and all this stuff. And just knowing that she was a kid who grew up in the arts, like the Beyoncés, like the Ushers, like the Christinas, like the Aaliyahs, and that whole era of people, Brandy, Monica, who were from kids being trained up, like you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, so I was really inspired by that.
No, Britney was and still is, for the record, that girl.
That girl.
We love you, Britney.
Yes.
And so we're going to hop in. We're going to go through the album. So we're going to start with the iconic track that we just talked about. But that, when you hear it, like, just come in.
I think, honestly,
it changes lives.
I don't think, I'm exaggerating because this is what we're talking about. But I think this, Baby One More Time, might be one of the best debut singles ever.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm in agreement.
It's up there with Wanna Be by the Spice Girls, Original Love from Mariah Carey. When you hear it, it's recognizable. Like you said, like, the girls aren't coming like that straight out of the gate with a song like that was written for TLC.
I literally was about to say that. Yeah. Like, this song was supposed to go to TLC. I feel like it would have been a totally different song. Like,
but also you can hear the cadence kind of in like how T-Boz would have like sung it or like
Yeah.
the vision in it, but
Yeah.
also TLC's influence. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's so many songs that was written for TLC in that era that like the girls got. But the fact that you could get something like that and turn it into something that's like so you, like we didn't even know Britney Spears, but that seemed like Britney Spears,
Yeah,
whatever that was.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, my question from this song is if you were given the opportunity to, because we know this was supposed to go to TLC, to cover an iconic pop song that was initially meant for someone else, which song would it be and why?
Wow. If I could, an iconic pop song. Ooh, I would have to say this is when I was younger, you know, I wanted to be a kid, teen pop star. And in my head, one song that always like I gravitated towards. Oh, this is so corny, and I don't think I want to tell people this. You remember Mandy Moore's song Candy?
Yes, I love that song.
I was like, I wish I had this song.
Yeah.
Still, like now, she was like 14. She shouldn't have been singing that song
at all.
I would still kind of like do a funky, like, you know, cover of
I would like
that
to hear
song.
that.
Yeah.
The people need to hear that.
Yeah.
And going back to what we were talking about when we were off camera, but I was watching the Child Stars documentary and you saying that you wanted to be a teen pop sensation and how they capitalized off that. That's why like you had Hannah Montana, all of that stuff like centered around being famous.
Like I was saying about us growing up in the best period to be a kid star, like I was really trained up in that. Like having to go to like if you want I had one of those moms that if you want to do this, if you say because I wasn't a sports kid, I wasn't gonna play football, I wasn't gonna be a basketball star. So I was really fortunate to have parents was like, what do you want to do? Yeah. And if I was gonna do it, I had to do it. So like being in like acting classes and singing and boys choirs and classically trained and all that stuff too. Then when I got older, like auditioning for all that and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like we were prime real estate for the wave of things that were happening. Yeah. And it still stuck with us, I think.
And we're not just going to glance over that. Auditioning for all that.
I did.
That's how you also know you got a Scorpio mama. Because I have a Scorpio mama.
Yeah.
And they don't play. Like when you say you want to do something, my mama ran out of gas one time trying to get me my costume for a dance recital. I was set to go on the stage and she had to get some little white boys, like flag them down in Dinwiddie County to take her. I'm like, Mom, why you ain't get no gas? She said, I didn't want you not to have your costume. And I just said, that's different.
I really wish that I still had like audition tapes because it was a process. They had this contest, the Funniest Kid in America contest, where the first thing is you send in like you doing a comedy monologue. Or whatever. So I sent in that. And then if you would move to the next round, they sent you this packet where there were sides that you had to read. And there were parts off the camera. And like, my mom ain't no actor. Like, she was behind the camera. There's a big camcorder back in the day because this was like 2001, 2002. Like reading these lines, trying to like, oh, I'm acting. Yeah. And with me in front of the camera, like so very much dedicated and very much like, if you want to do this, let's go after it. And so, yeah.
Shout out to Miss Marlo.
Yeah, shout out to her.
All right. The next song is again another favorite one. You Drive Me Crazy. Again, like coming in, those bells. It's just like it instantly grabs you. Like,
iconic. You remember the video with Melissa Joan Hart?
Yes.
And they were waitresses.
Yes,
and then
that's when actors used to be doubling as cameos in music videos.
And then Britney did a cameo on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Like, come on. Like, what?
Yes.
Like, and so the Stop remix version is featured in the movie Drive Me Crazy. Yeah. And it became even more popular than the original album version. Yeah. So as someone who thrives on collaboration, how does adapting a piece like you did with Rent, perhaps, compared to putting your own spin on a classic song or like role?
Ooh, that's kind of a question that I got recently about how is it singing, like when I'm in a musical, being another character and singing their songs, and then, you know, having the other side of my life where I write my songs and sing personal things and all that. Um, and I think you have to, it's the acting thing. Like, and it's kind of freeing to be in theater and be acting and sing those songs and put spins on other people and collaborate because sometimes it's like, oh, I get to, hide a little
Yeah.
bit and like, transform. Whereas when you are putting out your own stuff and being vulnerable, and I like to tell my business and stuff like that. So it's freeing to, collaborate and be somebody else or sing other people's songs or, get into an actor's mindset when you're presenting rather than yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And I think like the best music projects, in my opinion, sometimes are those collaborative like efforts.
Absolutely.
Like when you look and you see like everybody, you're like, oh wait, I didn't know like this person worked on that song. Like that's why I love album credits. Like I missed the booklet, like
Love
flipping
them.
through the booklet.
I used to be
Like
obsessed with like who are the background vocalists,
yes,
who
yeah.
played the violin, who is on the trumpet. Like,
Yeah,
that they don't do that anymore.
they don't.
One, everything is made on computers, so
Yeah. Ugh.
They
They don't even be in the same room anymore making the music, which is absolutely insane to me, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
The next song is the ballad Sometimes.
Yes.
I love love. Even as a kid, like I was infatuated with love. Like I was like, I would listen to songs and be like, I want to be in love, like as a kid. And it's like, girl, why were you like that? But anyways, this sweet ballad showcases Britney's softer side because she came out the gate like raw,
fierce,
boom, boom, cacking, and with a lot of Janet influence, which we could get into.
Yes.
With the dancing.
Yeah.
But she admitted it was one of the most challenging music videos to film due to the choreography.
She actually broke her ankle
leg
on that video.
Like, so what's a project or performance that challenged you creatively but taught you the most?
All the projects I try to do challenge me creatively. I'm one of those weird masochist people, I think, that likes to, if I don't get anything out of it, I don't want to do it. If it's not a problem or a chase, even in my love life,
Oh my gosh,
even if it's not a chase or like a plot,
I do thanks for the plot.
I don't want to do it. But I think recently I was in this play called 1 and 2, where there were 3 actors and there were 3 roles, and we had to learn all of them because the audience picked who played who each night.
Oh,
so we would go on stage and we would not know which part we were going to play.
Oh, wow.
And there is nothing like when that light hits you and you know which character you are and you have to flush your brain in 5 seconds to say, oh, this is my next line because I'm playing this person tonight. This is the costume I have to go.
Wow.
This is where everything is. So that challenged me. But I love stuff like that because after that, I know I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like it really psychs me up because I'm like, if I did that, no telling what I can do.
Yeah. That's like freestyling.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's like doing a 1-person show.
Yeah.
Kind of harder than a 1-person show because if you are off in a 1-person show, you can make it up and the audience doesn't know. When you're working with 2 other people who are also trying to figure their way out, that's scary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So the next song is Soda Pop. I love this. I feel like every song I'm gonna be like, I love this song. But Soda Pop was it. Like, and I love that she said, you know what, I'm gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it a regional thing. I'm gonna put both versions in there. Soda Pop, because we call it soda.
Yeah.
But I've met people like from Chicago and stuff, and I'm like, why do you call it pop? You know? She said, I'm gonna just say Soda Pop to make people happy. This was written by Mikey Bassie. And this reggae infused track, which also I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm so happy that we didn't grow up with cancel culture. Because if this would have came out today, they would have been like, oh,
appropriation.
Like
she's pandering.
And it really stands out to me. With your dynamic range, do you ever find yourself drawn to exploring unexpected genres or styles like Britney did with this song?
Yeah. It's actually, what's crazy is now that you bring that up, the kind of story of like the album Hangover and how I made that is kind of how Baby One More Time started, because Britney Spears is going to be a very different artist. Britney Spears was intended to be like a Sheryl Crow, Fiona Apple kind of singer, like, kind of a alt rock, because she has that deep alto voice that they took away from her. But once they found that star quality in her and was like, girl, you can do somersaults and you come from theater and you come from Mickey Mouse Club and you are a gymnast. You need to
Mm-hmm.
dance. So it became more poppy and more poppy. And when I started writing The Hangover, it was going to be a sad, Adele type breakup, heartache
Yeah.
album. But once I started working with the producers I was working with, the first kind, and we started to add different guitar riffs and basses and drum patterns, it was like, oh, this is turning into like a pop disco house album, which are all music that like lived in me.
Yeah.
So I think I was trying to make this thing, but it kind of went to like more of what I was. So, I experimented so much with that. Like there were ska influences on there. There were like, just pure R&B tracks, and then there
Mm-hmm.
are just guitar tracks. So yeah, I like to experiment. I don't think genre is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Genres was created to, pit artists against each other and to make money.
Yeah.
I don't think any artist goes into the studio and is like, I want to make a such and such album, and that a lot of people want to make good music,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes you places sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's like what Beyonce recently said on
yeah.
Carter about genres. They're a
They
funny little
box you
thing.
in.
Yeah.
They
No,
box you
seriously.
in. I can only do this.
Yeah.
Like I'm a singer, I'm an entertainer, I'm a writer.
Yeah.
Like I want to do it all, not just this type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then speaking of your album Hangover, there's a heavily Britney influenced song
Mhm.
on there. So
Mhm.
can we talk about that?
Yes. It's this song. I remember the day I wrote this song. It's called I Met a Boy. And he actually the first like talking line is let me put my Britney voice on.
Yeah.
Because it set a mood and it's a really like it's a poppy song. And I think like Britney Spears kinda because I believe after the Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys and all that stuff, at that time pop was like not being cool
Mm-hmm.
for a second. Like they were like, oh, this weird theater kid thing.
Yeah.
But Britney, when she came out, I think she kind of made it more like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
She's interesting. Like, there's something to watch here. So I took away from that. I think the best art is always still. So in so much of my art, I steal from Britney Spears and just like presence on stage and all that kind of stuff. I think she's unmatched. Nobody walks across the stage like Britney Spears.
No, seriously.
Like, nobody
girl
walks
can
across a
walk.
stage like
She
her.
can walk.
Yeah.
And she can really. I'm gonna go to the next song. I
Yes.
have some more things I want to say about Britney Jean.
Yes.
But the next song, Born to Make You Happy.
Yes.
The girl, I just love like the flip-flopping between
Yes.
like, just love, like, I just think that, again, she came out the gate swinging and
A very teen album.
yeah,
Very
so
appropriate.
teen. Yes, and I'm like, the
It's-
kids don't even have, like, they are looking toward, like, being grown.
Yes.
Like, if you talk to 12 and 13-year-olds now, like, they
SZA.
are, yeah.
And who's older than me, and
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just the craziest thing.
I think that market is missing now. Like you said, it's little kid, it's like Coco Melon and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Or it's like adult, you shouldn't be listening to this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it was so age appropriate. It wasn't baby. It wasn't like little kid. And it still wasn't like adult, I shouldn't be listening to this. It was very much that market of, 9 to 17,
Mhm.
so.
I love that. And this was one of Britney's first music videos that showcased like a narrative storyline.
Mhm.
And it was MTV. They kept the girl in rotation.
In rotation.
As someone, you tell stories on both on the stage and in song.
Mhm.
What's your approach to balancing visuals with narrative in your work?
To me, I think because I'm so innately an actor,
Mm-hmm.
is those things never don't go hand in hand. The visual and the auditory experience of it. When I write a song, I envision how it would look on stage and how like a possible music video would look. When I'm reading a script, even if I'm not directing or I'm not on the creative team, I develop the character by thinking how the world looks, how the lights look, how I'll move on stage, how my voice will sound. So both of those worlds go together with the narrative and the creating of it to me. Like I know if I was a big pop star, my videos would be so long and annoying because they'd have like plots and
Yeah.
why is it 5 minutes before the song has started? Why are we seeing somebody stand on a building contemplating life?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those things go hand in hand for me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I saw a lot of myself in Britney Spears because, again, we've joked about this.
Mhm.
Like, Crossroads is loosely based on my life.
Crossroads.
Okay.
Lucy. Okay.
Lucy. And with Britney, I just love that she was a Southern girl.
Yes.
Like a country
Through
girl.
and through.
Like very country. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm from Dinwiddie County, Virginia. This little white girl, I remember like family members were like, please listen to somebody else.
Yes.
And I was like, no. Like
I think now it's really weird because I'm in my 30s and Britney Spears is so still deeply associated with me.
Yeah.
Like if people know me, they like think, oh, Britney Spears fan. Like, and it's been since 1998. Since like it's always been a part of like if a Britney Spears album was coming out, my mama was keeping me out of school on Tuesday because she knew we gotta go to Circuit City.
You are aging us for real.
We gotta go to FYE. We gotta go to the store, Best Buy, and get the album.
Yeah.
The last album I bought on cassette actually was Stoops I Did Again album.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the one that was the last cassette I bought in 2000.
That's so crazy. The last cassette I bought was Ashanti's debut album. Yeah, I got that on cassette. Like,
yeah.
And again, like going back to like Tuesdays, like I remember I was an overachiever, but one of the things is like when it was report card time, my mom would always like take me to Circuit City. Like that was my gift.
Yeah.
Like, and I would like get to choose the album, and I got on her nerves because again, you could preview the albums, and I'm like, oh, I can only get one.
I got to Sunday when the sales paper would come out. You could see what was coming out that week,
and you could circle them. Yes, I was a circle. I used to circle
this
things.
Is Tuesday. This is coming out. We got to be there.
I love that.
Yes.
And okay, next song from the bottom of my broken heart,
an R&B classic.
A
vocal classic.
Yeah.
The girls, like, people, I have a very funny tone, people.
Yeah.
But I be dead serious. Like, this song, there are the R&B girl, like, I love to hear an R&B girl now do a cover of that song. Like, the vocal on that song is crazy. That could have been a Toni Braxton. Like, you could hear the Toni Braxton influence that she always talks about. How she always used to talk about Brandy influencing her. Like, yeah.
And I mixed it up. I mixed up "Born to Make You Happy" and "From the Bottom of My Heart," but that's okay. But
that one had a narrative too.
Like just that bring those narratives, and like as we're going through this again, it was a beautiful time because I would argue even then it's like people weren't conformed to genres really. It's like, okay, we got this pop song, we got a ballad, we got an R&B heavy song.
Also, a big part of that is Europe's love for R&B music.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because Born to Make You Happy was a massive hit in Europe.
Yeah.
And it became her 4th #1 single in the UK off her debut album.
Yeah. And like she worked with Max Martin and all those people from Sweden who studied R&B music.
Yeah.
Over there, they even call it, like, I watched recently an interview doing the research for this again. And I remember them in the studio when she was 16 recording the album and saying, like, you guys call it pop here. We call it R&B.
Wow.
Over there.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Britney's voice and, like, the soulfulness in it. Like, you can tell she was a Southern American girl and how what she could bring to these pop songs that, like, Mike Martin started writing for, like, Ace of Base. Like, I Saw the Sign and, like, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just again, like with songs that have like emotional depth to them, that's Hangover.
Yeah.
That's actually all the music you make.
Yeah.
So, what inspires you to connect like with your fans and with audiences like that? Because you have to be like really put your business out there, like really like bare your soul, your heart, if you will.
I think one of my missions or my purposes in life is honestly, I always have a mantra of like making people feel. Like I feel like that's what I like to do.
Such a Cancer.
No, seriously. And in any avenue, whether it's theater, whether it's teaching, whether it's directing, whether it's acting, whether it's writing, whether it's making people laugh, whether it's going off on people and making them upset. I like to give people experience because I think that's what life is about. If we go through life not having experiences or feeling or I'm a huge Joni Mitchell stan. I'm very niche and random. But she has this line in one of her songs that Erykah Badu also says a lot is laughing and crying is the same release.
It is.
And
Ooh.
it is. It's just a different way of releasing your joy, your pain, or sometimes you laugh so hard that you cry. Sometimes you cry so hard that you start laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So I always want to make people feel. So to me, sharing stuff is never like, ooh, I share too much or being embarrassed, because when you're human and you share that experience, you see how human other people are.
Yeah.
So I'm all about connection. I hate when people say, I hate people. I've never been one of those people.
Yeah, no,
I love
same.
people. People can be annoying. People can be strange
Yeah.
and weird, but I think you can learn something from everybody, and I want that connection.
No,
I'm a
seriously.
Cancer. I want that connection. Like, tell me all the creepy stuff about you so
Yeah.
I can see that you're a real person.
Yeah. I feel like that's why we mesh so well, because Scorpio
water.
Cancer, like that water, and I love to cry. And I know people always like be like, girl, but I love
do
to cry.
too,
Like I need
but
it to, if I'm in a season of my life and I haven't cried in a while, then something is off with me.
I miss crying. I take Lexapro. And I've been on Lexapro for a long time.
Yeah.
And if you know your girl Lexi, when she feels the tears, she's like, nah. You
Yeah.
know, we have to hold space for you not to cry.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yes, I do need those good cries, but it stops.
It don't. Listen. I like watching movies, all
Okay.
the things to just. Okay, so the next is I Will Be There. And this is, I guess some people would say, the lesser known track. Because it really highlights her early vocal potential.
Yes.
And again, this was co-written, like you mentioned, Max Martin. And the architect, like he was the architect of Britney's signature sound.
He's still the architect of music
like
today.
Really? And so with your impressive, again, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 octave vocal range, how do you balance technical skill with emotional storytelling?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like singers a lot, especially singers that are trained and have a certain thing. And my girl Ari is kind of an example of what I'm about to say. It's always a thing of prove you can sing, prove you can really, 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 really sing. And Beyonce, I feel like at the beginning of both of their careers, they did a lot of we are gonna sing because we need to prove that we are singers and we are vocalists and all that stuff. And I think as they started to be more true to storytelling and honest to putting themselves out there around, like, you know, Sweetener, Thank You Next for Ari, and like, you know, Self-Titled and Lemonade for Beyonce, the vocal came more about expressing and being raw and real and connecting and not having to be showy.
Yeah.
And because, you know, I can sing.
Yeah.
But all the time, you don't have to use that to show what you need to show.
Yeah.
Like, just because you can do it. Like, I think my girl Mariah, that's why her voice has, you know, over the years has changed. Because just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something all the time. And musicals have showed me that too. Because playing different characters, you have to use different parts of your voice. And you have to, every character doesn't sound the same. So some characters sing more powerful, some characters are more smooth, some characters sing. So it's really, like you said, I would rather get the emotion across. Yeah. And I'm all about the emotion than the technicality of it. Yeah. Because people want to feel. Yeah. No, seriously. I'm like, I have some days where I just know what song I'm going to play to make me cry. Yeah. And I like will play it in the car and look out the window. It's just me. Over and over. Like, I'm like, today is that day. And so this next song is a duet. It's the I Will Still Love You. Love this song.
With Don Phillips.
Love it.
It's her only duet on the album. And this really added like a dramatic kind of flair to her teen pop image, if you will. It's like, okay, like I have another side, like a dark, a moody side or what have you. If you could duet with any artist, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh my God. I'll do a past and a present just because. Okay. Past if I could duet with any artist, would probably be Aretha Franklin. She is the architect. Yeah. Of singing and being soulful and making that gospel soul singing pop. People weren't singing R&B like that before Aretha came. She's the reason why we have runs in belting and grit in R&B and why it is
Yeah.
what it is. So the queen from the past, I think from the present, Ariana.
Yeah.
Her
Oh, I
voice is
would
so
love
technically
that.
great.
Yes.
And I think our,
Two cancers
yes,
together.
we would blend so well. And then talk about tattoos and theater.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love me some Ariana. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
we could go on a tangent. You gonna have to come back for
Yes.
her. We got to go
Oh,
through.
there are
Oh, we
albums
have
we
to
need to
go.
talk about.
Yeah,
There are
okay.
things we need to talk about.
No, seriously. So
Yeah.
this next one is Deep in My Heart.
Yes.
This was featured on the international versions of the album, but not on our side. Like
Yes.
we didn't get it over here in the US, so it's a hidden gem for real Britney fans.
Yes. I used to look it up on when the internet first started.
Oh my gosh, you remember when the internet first started? And it was like that little man, ask something. Jeeves, Mr. Jeeves,
Yes.
ask Mr. Jeeves before they had Google.
I used to look up the songs that were not released up because they used to tell us it was very much like, this is a bonus track that's in Europe now.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what? We can't hear it. And that was not accessible. Like now, you can switch VPNs, you can do anything now. But back then we had to, give the computer some sicknesses to download it on Kazaa.
Like, no, seriously. Oh my gosh, like LimeWire.
Yes.
Shout out to my
I got so much trouble for killing so many computers.
No. Okay, so my auntie used to look out like for me because my parents are not old at all, but they not really at the time. They weren't computer literate.
Our parents are from this place called Dinwiddie, Virginia.
Thank you. Yeah.
Picture Birmingham, 1959. Go. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and it worked to my advantage because my auntie, she was in IT and she would come and fix our computer.
Yes.
And she would pull me to the side and be like,
my computer a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. She would pull me to the side and be like, you gotta stop with the LimeWire.
Yeah.
And
I was doing other stuff too.
I didn't. No, okay. I talked about it on my debut episode with B Time and Unwind, but the chat rooms. I used to be in the chat rooms and
I was
my
an
username.
18-year-old girl named Tiffany from New York for a long time.
What?
I was probably 12. But yeah, that was before it was called catfishing.
Yeah,
it was just lying your ass off. Yeah, I used to lie my ass off.
Yeah,
I was a
same.
light-skinned girl named Tiffany from Florida.
What? I'm so weak.
I wonder how those guys are doing now that I lied to.
No, seriously. And I was innocent in the fact that my username was Miss Nookie, but I didn't know that Nookie stood for sex. My aunt's name is Monique. My name is Shanique. So she already had Neek. So she used to call me Nookie. And my thing was Miss Nookie.
She set you up.
And I used to get weird messages in the chat room. But again, I was a kid. So I was like, oh, this is weird. I just wouldn't respond. But like,
I wouldn't have thought it was weird.
Why?
That was for fun.
Right. Okay. And okay, we only have a few more songs, but the next one is Thinking About You. Again, she brings it back up.
Yes.
Okay, so she leveled it out. Like, again, like, I love this album because it goes through, to me, the range of emotions, especially as a teenager. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like,
it is a
sometimes
girl
you're
in
up
11th
and sometimes
grade
you're down.
who has a boyfriend sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes she has a boyfriend. Other times she dates around.
Like, and so I guess I want to know, this one was, again, never released as a single, but this is a fan favorite, a real fan favorite. Yeah. So what's a hidden gem for you, like in your music, that you don't like, that you feel like people don't often notice, but I don't know.
You asked.
What holds a special place for you? Like, yeah.
Your questions are just, it's like you, Oprah.
Oh, thank you.
But no, I think there's a song I wrote. It was actually the first song I wrote for Hangover called Change. I remember I used to be a librarian in my past life.
I remember.
And I was at the desk at the library one night and I was going through all this emotional stuff that you go through in your 20s. And I was just there typing on a computer and I remember I just started typing these words that became like the song. And that song so much like, it's so vast and it's so like me. So go listen to Change by TeDarryl if you have a moment. But no, I think that song is beautiful. Like it's one of those songs that I would even give to someone. Like I think more people, need to hear it. So if one day, you know, an R&B artist comes up and is like,
I need a
I need a
song.
song, I'd be like,
Yeah.
take this one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought up your job because the other day I was just driving and I just have these weird reflections
Uh-huh.
sometimes when I'm at home or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But think about how many, like, I don't know about you, but like, I kept so many different odd jobs. Like, I had so many random jobs, and obviously it all came to this level, like,
Yeah.
brought me to this level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so funny to me because, like, I had so many different jobs, but the root of all my jobs was people. Like how you
Every
say you're a
single one.
people person, like
Every single one
literally.
that I've had has been, you know, communication, connection of some sort
Yeah.
in every avenue. Yeah.
No, same.
Yeah. I enjoy people.
Yeah.
I
Shout out
really
to the
like,
comms majors as
right.
well.
You know?
Okay, and so I'm excited for this next song because
Mhm.
again, the kids just don't
Don't know.
know. Email my heart.
Email my heart. The first song
Like,
to have the word email in it.
yes, that's
Fun
what I was
fact.
gonna say. Like,
Yes.
especially in our time, like the fact that okay, like this is like saying text message in a song for the kids that's watching.
DM me. It
Yeah,
goes down in the
DM.
DMs.
Yeah, it goes down in the DMs.
It was
okay,
like that.
Yeah, this was like this.
Southern Legends. Yo Gotti, Britney
Yes.
Spears.
Seriously, they are.
Southern
they are.
Legends.
Shout out to the Southern Legends. Shout out to the Southern Legends.
Yeah.
And so, again, like email my heart, it really just speaks to the times because we literally had to email to communicate.
Email.
I used to email my friends. Like, what was a text message? I literally would get on there if we were in school.
Hotmail.
Like what?
You know?
I miss that. Like
AOL.com. There are still people who have AOL emails.
Okay, my mama still got
expect me
AOL.
to email them.
My mama still got AOL.
Wow.
And I'm like, Mom, why do you like? She just love it. And you know, AOL had like kind of like that tiny desk. What was it called?
AOL sessions.
Yeah, AOL
Have a
sessions.
music first listen.
Yes.
You remember when you used to download songs off like Kazaa LimeWire and they would have like, you know, AOL music first listen.
Yeah.
I always think about Sierra Goodies when I
Oh
think
my
about that
gosh,
sound.
yes.
Not good. Promise.
Promise. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Promise, we were still doing that dance when I was in college.
Yes.
Like we were still like me and my dorm mates had got together like one day,
Swinging on
did
walls.
the like on walls, and like also like I joke about the TikTok kids, which sadly, I mean, by the time this come out, they probably don't have TikTok.
R.I.P. to TikTok. You were fun.
Ooh,
I don't
tell
know
you.
how I'm gonna know what to cook for dinner now,
Man.
but I will try.
No, seriously. And so I always joke on the TikTok kids and they dances, but like essentially we were the same except like you had to go to a friend house because I personally didn't have this at my house where you could the TiVo where you could stop and pause. My mom, they ain't had that. So I would go to my best friend's house and we would hit play and pause, learn the parts.
Dances.
Please make up dances again.
Bring
Like
back talent shows. The kids aren't talented anymore because they don't have talent shows. I was a talent show kid.
Yeah.
You don't know anything until you have a group of 17-year-old guys who are only there because their girlfriend is there. Boo you because they're bored. Even if you sound good.
No. And talent shows used to break artists. Like Jagged Edge was found at a talent show too.
So many people were found at talent shows.
Like
people are too sensitive these days for talent shows.
They are. And they just too sensitive for just so
Imagine
much.
Apollo.
Man, and I used to live for Apollo. Like I lived for Apollo.
If you could sing back then in the day, that was the first thing people were like, you should go to the Apollo.
Yeah. No, it was. It's the equivalent of like me being a journalist and like writing. And people being like, why don't you just call Tyler Perry? Like,
if you are Black and in media, the pinnacle, like I could go next year and win an Oscar. I could win an Oscar, a Grammy, an Emmy, and a Tony. And my mom still would be like, well, you haven't worked for Tyler Perry, so I don't understand why you're even doing this.
No, so many of my family members to this day, they'd be like, why don't you just go work with Tyler?
Like, we can all just call him up.
Like, I could just call
If we've
Tyler
ever
Perry.
been in front of a camera, we can talk to Tyler Perry.
Black people. Okay, so.
But Tyler, if you're watching.
Please.
I mean, I got PATO. I can come down for a few weeks.
Okay. They need to put you on the have you watched Beauty and Black?
They do not need to put me on. No. They do not need to put me on the show.
Okay, not that. I feel like if they put you in Beauty and Black though, no shade to Tyler, he would make you not act. because he has really good actors on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it pisses me off, but I couldn't stop watching. But I was
Yeah.
like, did he tell y'all to not act?
I mean, when ChatGPT writes your scripts, there's not much you can do with allegedly. Tyler writes his scripts.
Tyler. Okay. All right. So next song is The Beat Goes On.
It was the last track on the album.
Yes. And it's the cover. This is the final track. The cover of Sonny and Cher's song. Okay.
Love that. That's one of my top 3 on the album, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, actually, tell me your top 3.
My top 3. Can I tell you my bottom 3 too?
Yes, please. Like, let's do a top. Yeah, start with the bottom 3.
My bottom 3 is I Will Be There.
Okay.
Very Hanson throwaway album filler track. Good song. I see why the girlies liked it.
Yeah.
Not for me. I was mature. Born to Make You Happy was never with that subject matter.
Yeah.
I'm a lover, but that was extreme.
Yeah.
Also, I was always jealous that they had that in Europe and we did not have that.
Yeah.
Third would have to be You Drive Me Crazy. Only because it's not the Stop remix.
Yeah.
I love the Stop remix.
The Stop remix is everything.
And it always jars me on the album when it's not there.
Yeah.
But I still love the album.
Yeah.
This is no skip for me.
Yeah.
But those are my bottom 3. My top 3. From the Bottom of a Broken Heart.
Yeah.
From the Bottom of a Broken Heart, The Beat Goes On. And Thinking About You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Which could have been From the Bottom of a Broken Heart was a single, but Thinking About You should have been a single.
Nah, seriously.
They could have had at least 2 more singles off that album.
No, seriously. And I was gonna say, when you mentioned, what did you say? You said something about one of the songs.
Also, we talked about Sierra. Do you know Goodies was supposed to go to Britney Spears?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodies.
Okay.
That
was around 2003 time when she was like working with the Neptunes and I'm a Slave for You and Overprotected and all that kind of stuff. So when she was getting into more urban. So that would have been around the time of like the Toxics and the, you know, that kind of stuff.
And I know what I was going to say. Born to Make You Happy.
Mm-hmm.
That song bothered me too.
Yeah.
But that was a theme for our childhood. It was like, you are to live to make a man happy. So I am happy for the kids today.
Yes.
Because they get more empowerment. Like,
yes.
Like, fuck that nigga. Like,
Gen X was really trying to tell us to love people.
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And Gen Z was really like, no.
No, thank you.
No,
like,
I'd rather not.
Like, what?
I could TikTok.
Like, what? And then I wanted to play a bonus song.
Ooh.
This is personally one of, like, in my top Britney songs.
Ooh,
I'm pretty sure you know what song I'm going to play.
No, I don't. I'm so excited.
Okay, so it's... Dun, 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 dun. This song, I felt back then that it was a cry for help, but that was just me being maybe a little bit too overly, maybe emotionally in tune. But after reading her her autobiography, I'm like, yeah, like I felt that song so much, like as a kid. Like, isn't she lucky, this Hollywood girl? But she cries every night. I'm like, can somebody check on her? Is she okay?
See, I was running away from it because I didn't want to think of the deepness of it. I wanted that single to be out of the way. I have no idea why they made Lucky the second single from Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah.
I was so ready when Stronger came out. Yeah. I was like, let's get Lucky out of the way because this is making me depressed.
Yeah.
But speaking of her book, you know they're making a movie of the book.
Yes, they are.
Directed by John Chu.
Yes.
Who directed Wicked.
Yes.
Whole space for Britney Spears.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I think we talked about this before, but we can elaborate because obviously people don't hear our conversations. But you were just saying how, like, you hope whoever plays Britney is somebody like new that we don't know, like that doesn't have like those influences, because we don't want her caricaturized. Like we want, like they have to do Britney justice, because to me in her waking life, yes, she get to dance on the Instagrams or whatever and, you know, be free or what have you. But we were robbed with Britney Spears. Yeah. Like me and Ebony literally this weekend had a little moment of mourning because we don't have like Britney will never make music again.
Yeah. I
I hope she will.
I
Like,
don't
I
know.
feel like she might be at home making some.
I think she's the person who likes to prove. She has that tenacious spirit of like just artists from that generation.
Yeah.
I think this time is good for her to be chill, but I think she'll give us something.
Yeah.
She'll give us something, one day. She's getting older.
Yeah.
So maybe at 45, about 2 more years, she'll come back out. But he said she's going to be heavily involved in the movie. So who's to say soundtrack stuff or,
Yeah, that would be a literal dream.
Yeah.
That would be a literal dream come true. Okay. So I guess before we leave here, one of the things like I wanted to know, like I always like to do like a journal prompt or whatever, which this was like the age of like, having your journal and like all that stuff. I still journal today. Everybody needs to journal
Yes.
actually, so the
Write it
world can be a
down.
better place.
Write it down.
But like knowing what you know about Britney's journey and like your own journey, just like being an artist, what is something that you would tell 5-year-old TeDarryl, knowing what you know now, doing what you do, like what would you tell this little kid who was so excited about becoming a teen sensation?
That the more experienced you are, the better you will be able to connect. I think our generation too is very idealistic because we were told like you can conquer anything, you can be a star, you can be blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think we rushed a lot, and we see like now. Back then, I thought like these 19-year-olds releasing music, they know everything. They're so
facts.
adult, and they are going through things, and they have it all figured out, and they know all of this. Now in my 30s, I'm like, how could you be a star at 19? How could you have this much influence and your frontal lobe is not like developed? And I don't want to be like that age person, like, oh, girl, oh. But I do think the more I know, for me personally, I would have been cheated out of a lot of life if I would have been famous young or had a lot of notoriety young and not been able to live. I have an addictive personality,
No,
and look at the Nickelodeon documentary.
Yeah.
Who's to say? I remember the same time. I was the same generation as couple of the main people who were talking on there.
Like Giovanni.
Yes, Giovanni. And so I was like, who knows where I would be now? Like, would I be like Orlando, what's his name?
Brown.
Yes.
Orlando Brown.
I was going to say Orlando Bloom.
From I always mix them up. Like, literally, one day I was like, Orlando Bloom. They was like, girl.
And sometimes I say Orlando Jones, which is the one that looks like Solange. So, I think I would say, like, just keep living.
Yeah.
Don't think you have it off. Like, because now it's really crazy that now at the age I am, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I do, like, I've read and I know and I've experienced life. Yeah. Life has punched me a couple of times, but I feel it's like, I don't know shit. Like,
no, same.
I am figuring out and I'm learning and I'm open to learning and growing. And that's fun.
Yeah. And like my therapist told me last week that adults are just children playing dress up. And when you think about that in life, like you will take a lot of things less personal.
You know the reason I started thinking about that was men. And being a teacher, I taught in K through 12 a long time. And a lot of the girls, when you're in middle school or high school, you lose your mind for these boys.
Yeah, no, seriously.
These boys can't read. Like, they wouldn't know, being on the other side and knowing what's in their files and, like, the stuff they're going through and, like, their grades. Yeah. Y'all are crying for these boys who...
Listen, I know my teachers were concerned about me.
Read.
Like, they were like, girl... Because I used to like the boys that was stuttering a little bit when they would read aloud.
Think about it as adults. The people, we don't know we were never in class. We don't know what class they were in.
We are so mixed together.
We don't know if they have 5 kids and 2 teachers in the class.
Yeah.
And we are letting them bring us down. Ladies, bring back our girls. Okay. We are all just children trying to make it. These guys are children.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. homosexuals. Oh, see, tangents. But
Yes.
Brittany, we should talk about that too, because these guys are children. Kevin Federline
Needs jail.
Kevin
He need to go
Federline.
to the
What do you
jail.
say? Death to them all.
Yeah, no, because Kevin Federline, I already knew I never liked him, but after reading that book,
were your fans. He was a fan.
and
Popo's out. You
and
remember?
you know,
he
we
released
could literally keep talking forever about that. About I have a very.
Did you see the boys are coming around now because the child support's done?
Yeah,
her sons?
Yeah,
They spend the holidays with mom and stuff now.
I seen that, and
they got respect.
Yeah, and I'm so sad about that because I'm like, I don't think it's genuine, but I know how much Britney loves her kids. Like she loves her kids down.
But now they grown and the child support start coming in. They want to be around mom.
And I'm just like, Kevin Federline need to be in jail. But again, like you said, I think that like, remember, girls, don't date fans, okay?
And these men are fans.
It's a difference between someone who admires and really like loves you and likes you versus like a fan who likes the idea of you.
She has this song, a deep dive, a nugget that people should go listen to. If you really want to know Britney Spears as an adult and why Blackout is her best album, she has a song produced by the Neptunes called Why Should I Be Sad? It's the last song on there.
Yeah.
But she's talking about that and like, I sent you to Vegas with a pocket full of paper. I put no ultimatums on you.
When you was wearing clothes trying to look like Kevin Federline was a wigger.
You wanted to be a rap. Like, I did all this stuff. I look stupid in the news. I did all this for you to play me out like that? To knock me up with 2 kids and have me off my zone? And now I'm spinning around my living room.
Lord,
bring back our girls.
Okay. But before we leave, tell the people where they can find you on social media, all the things.
Well, I'm on social media. You can find me on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter. At the TD Experience. You know, look me up. I'm across the internet, or don't look me up.
Yes, and
come see a show.
I was about to say shows. A performer.
You know, this summer. By the time this is up, I'm in the audition process right now. That is taxing. I've been in this audition process for the last 3 months, but it is a great role. It could be the biggest role of my career so far. So I'm grateful to even be considered. But I'm technically in the show, but the summer, Richmond Triangle Players, be there. It's gonna be a great time.
Yes,
but and artists go through a lot. Like us actors, baby. To get up there and to be judged, we go through a lot to get there.
I know. Like, oh my gosh. Support the arts as well.
Support the arts. No, seriously.
Like, seriously. I'm not playing.
Go see movies. Go see, if you want Black stuff to be created, you want queer stuff to be created, if you want stuff by women to create it, go buy a ticket. You have to go support it. Even if you don't, Black people, even if you don't think you're going to like it, buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Because
donate a ticket if you don't want to go.
My sports season, my football season is award season. So I'm a big awards girl. Like, I go on the apps and see who's in which place and who's betting on who. And Nickel Boys and Sing Sing were 2 big Black movies this year. Well, they're very acclaimed movies.
Yes, very.
And they are getting weaned out of the awards conversation, which seems petty. But when Black, independent, low-budget films don't get awards contention, they stop giving us money.
Yeah.
So support these things. Vote for these things. Go see them. If you want to see more, we have to support. We can't complain that there's not enough stuff if we don't go see it.
Yeah.
There's not enough art if we don't go see it. We don't support it. Even Tyler Perry stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, seriously.
We have to, if we want to see more of ourselves, we have to watch it. And that's what we were lucky, like, we're going back around to being youth in the 90s or in the early 2000s. We got to see ourselves.
Yeah.
I knew I could do it because of people like Keenan. Like,
oh my gosh.
Looking like me, wanting to do what I did. We saw influencers. So if you want to see more of yourself, you got to support.
You have to.
And you can't complain if you aren't.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
You know?
And you guys know where to find me. I am at As Told by Sly on Instagram and Twitter. His mama named him Twitter. I'm going to keep calling him Twitter. And you can also follow the team at Dreams to Reality. That's Dreams, the number 2, reality, because we making dreams a reality, y'all. And so this has been a journey.
This has been a journey.
Baby One More Time.
I have to be back. We have more albums to talk about.
We're to keep doing
We have
this.
not scratched the surface,
Yeah, this
people,
is just a little
of
tease.
things we have to talk about.
But thank you so much for tuning in to Music Bites, where every note tells a story. Until next time.